My name is Brendan Morawski. I'm a recording engineer based out of New York City. I work with artists such as Santi Gold, Alicia Keys, Taylor Swift. I won a Grammy for Album of the Year this year for the work that I did on Outside of the Woods, which is one of the singles for Taylor Swift. I also am a former mic tech at Telefunk and Electroacoustic, formerly head of quality control. My father is a professional musician, and so music has been a big part of my life since I was a child. I remember the first time when I realized that recording music was a profession. I had an old CD and a new CD of the same album, and I remember the new CD sounding incredibly better, and it was digitally remastered by Bob Ludwig. And at the time, I was about 10 or 11 years old. I didn't really understand how recording worked, and I knew that some of the members in the group had passed away. So I knew that this new digitally remastered couldn't have been re-recorded because some of the players weren't available to record anymore. So that's when it keyed in, oh, this guy Bob, he must have done something to the recordings that already existed to make them sound better. And that's what led me onto the path of understanding that recording music was a profession. I've been a huge in-the-box guy for a long time, and I'm starting to get myself out of the box, and I'm spending too much money on a bunch of stuff. But for me, the reason why I rely so heavily on in-the-box is being able to transition from one engineer, one studio to the next. It's very common for me to track a studio in one state, mix it in another state, do some overdubs in another state. So depending highly on analog gear has proven to be very challenging in the past. So now I'm starting to work in my hybrid setup with a little bit of analog summing, a little bit of analog compression, and a little bit of analog effects. One of the big projects that I'm working on right now is a movie for Fox. And that's been a very interesting experience for me coming from music, because there are a lot more cooks in the kitchen. The equipment that I depend on every day, first and foremost, is Pro Tools. It's what I depend on to make my life simpler, to be able to facilitate my artist's needs. Telefunk and microphones, the 251 is something that I depend on almost every day to give me an incredible sounding recording and to realize what the artist's intentions were. Some of my favorite pieces of gear are the System 6000. It's one of the only pieces of gear that I've used that I've found to be capable of making changes without compromise. The algorithms on it are just so incredible and there's so much detail with the settings that you have that you can really dial in exactly what you're looking for without having to deal with a side effect. Neve mic pre's are always my go-to, and a TubeTech CL1B is my main tracking compressor for vocals. And then past that, just the standard 1176s and APIs and Neve consoles and SSL, you know, and all this stuff a typical New York guy is going to use. The most rewarding mix that I've done is Before the Fire for Santi Gold on her album 99 Cents that came out earlier this year. The reason why I'm proud of it is because Santi is one of the most demanding artists sonically that I've ever worked for. She has the best hearing out of anyone I've ever met. And to be able to do a mix that not only satisfies her needs, but makes me feel proud of the sounds that I got are very refreshing. To be able to come and deliver something that makes her happy and I can feel proud of, and she didn't even have to do it next to me, that's one of my proudest mixes.